Have you ever stopped to think what a country actually sounds like? I'm not talking about the national anthem or whatever's on the radio, but the real sound of its people, its work, its life. Well, in his amazing poem, I Hear America Singing, Walt Whitman tried to capture exactly that. So today, we're going to break this thing down, note by note, and really listen to what he heard. So the poem kicks off with this really powerful, confident line. Whitman isn't just watching from the sidelines. He's right there, listening. He hears a song, but it's not just one tune. He makes a point of saying varied carols, which tells us right away that this is a performance with a ton of different parts, a whole chorus of unique voices. And that's really the big question, isn't it? Is he talking about actual music? Well, not exactly. Whitman is using singing as this incredible metaphor for the sound of a nation that's busy, that's working, that's alive with purpose. It's also really important to remember he wrote this around 1860. It was this, super optimistic vision of a united, hardworking America right before the Civil War. So in this explainer, we're going to deconstruct his national choir, voice by voice, to understand just how beautiful and complex it is. Okay, so first things first, let's really unpack that key word from the opening line, carol. The meaning here is basically the foundation for the entire poem. The choice of the word carol is just brilliant. A carol isn't just any old song. It's a joyful song, right? So Whitman is making a really bold statement from the get-go. He's saying the sound of American labor isn't about misery or complaining. Nope. It's a sound of happiness, of pride, of people expressing who they are through their craft. So now that he's set the stage, Whitman basically becomes a conductor, and he starts introducing his soloists one by one. And you have to understand, for his time, this was a huge deal. It was this deeply democratic idea, lifting up the everyday working people of America and insisting that every single one of them gets a moment in the spotlight. First up, we've got the Mechanics. Whitman gives their song two really important descriptions, blithe and strong. Now, blithe just means happy, carefree. And strong, well, that's about power and skill. So the sound of their work isn't just loud or powerful. It's the sound of people who are good at what they do and they're happy doing it. Next up, the carpenter. And I want you to notice how specific this is. His song is tied directly to what he's doing, measures his plank or beam. This isn't some vague song he's humming. It's the sound of precision, the rhythm of someone who is totally absorbed in the actual, physical tasks of their job. The mason's song is really interesting because it frames his entire workday. He's singing as he gets ready in the morning and as he's packing up to go home. This shows so brilliantly that the joy isn't just in the work itself, but in the whole ritual around it. The getting ready, the anticipation, and the satisfaction at the end of the day. Okay, let's head out to the water. The boatman and the deckhand are singing what belongs to him. This brings in a new idea, ownership, a sense of belonging. Their song is basically a declaration of their place, their role, their identity right there in their own environment, the boat. It's the sound of being exactly where you're supposed to be. And this right here just shows Whitman's incredible eye for detail. The shoemaker sits, the hatter stands, even the posture someone has while they work creates a different, unique song. It suggests that every tiny variation of labor, no matter how small it seems, adds its own distinct note to America's song. Now we move from the workshop out into the fields. The woodcutter and the plowboy connect their work to the rhythm of nature itself. They sing in the morning, they sing during their lunch break, and they sing as the sun goes down. Their work, and so their song, is completely in sync with the natural clock of the day. Okay, so Whitman makes a really important shift here. The poem moves away from the public world of industry and farms, and it goes into the private, domestic world of the home. He's showing us that the Song of America isn't just built in factories and fields. It's also cared for, it's nurtured, at home. Now, listen closely to that word, delicious. That is a very different kind of word from the strong songs of the Mechanics, right? Delicious suggests sweetness, care, a kind of intimacy and nourishment. The work done by the mother, the wife, the girl, it adds a totally different but just as vital texture to the nation's melody. So what we're seeing is this very deliberate contrast. And yeah, it definitely reflects the gender roles of the 1860s. The men's songs are public, they're strong, they're tied to the economy. The women's songs are private, they're intimate, they're tied to the family. But for Whitman, both are absolutely essential. America's song just isn't complete without both the strong parts and the delicious parts. All right, now we get to the grand finale. Let's see how all these different voices start to build towards a really powerful conclusion. Whitman kind of pulls the camera back from these individual portraits to give us this big unifying statement about what it all means.
This line right here, this is the absolute heart of the poem's philosophy. It's this powerful statement about individualism. Every single person's song is unique. It belongs to them and only to them. It cannot be replaced. Your contribution, my contribution, our work, our lives, it all has a sound that no one else in the world can make.
So then Whitman sums up all of those work songs we've just heard. All of them together, that's what belongs to the day. This is the collective sound of America during the daytime, a nation defined by productive, meaningful, and happy work. It's the grand total of all those individual carols. And this is so important, the singing doesn't stop when the workday is over. At night, the song completely transforms. It becomes the sound of community, of friendship, of just hanging out. And notice that word again, robust. The joy of being with friends is just as strong, just as vital as the joy of work. The American song is playing 24/7. And now we've reached the poem's final soaring note, where Whitman brings it all together in one absolutely unforgettable image. Just look at this final line, open mouths. That suggests a singing that is totally uninhibited, it's proud, it's loud, it's honest. There's no holding back. And the song itself, it's described as both strong and melodious. So it has power, but it also has beauty and harmony. And that's Whitman's ultimate vision, a nation of powerful individuals who all come together to create one beautiful, harmonious sound. So to wrap it all up, Whitman's poem is basically arguing that the true identity of America is found in the joyful, proud songs that its individual working people. It's a really powerful and, idealistic vision of a nation built on this harmony of fierce individualism. Of course, it's also worth noting this vision was captured right before the Civil War, and it's a choir that famously leaves out a lot of voices, like enslaved people or those working in much harsher industrial conditions. And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Just think about the world around you right now. The coder at their desk, the delivery driver on their route, the nurse working a long shift, the artist in their studio. What are the varied carols of the America that you hear singing today? And whose songs might we still be missing from the chorus?